Hello everyone, and welcome back to more Final Fantasy VII. We are at part 29. In the last part we raided the submarine, and in this part we're gonna fully take it over. But we got one group of Shinra soldiers left, and these guys are actually familiar. These are the guys that helped us teach Cloud the routine that they were gonna perform for President Rufus when we first visited Junon all the way back in Disc 1. So this is actually kind of a funny thing. You can either fight them or take them prisoner. I choose to fight them. You get the Junon music theme, and it's kind of sad actually, because like these, they're just people, and we actually met them before, and now they're dying. Oh well. But yeah, we're taking over the submarine so we can chase after the other submarine that has the huge materia and get it for ourselves. So yeah, it's a fun time all around. I'm casting bio on them. They're susceptible to poison, but oh no, there goes one of them. These guys aren't. They're just standard Shinra troops. And that should do it. And like I said, Cloud still has not gotten his level 3 limit break, and it's starting to drive me insane, because I'm like, he always has his level 3 limit at this point. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I guess I've just gotten unlucky with who's been killing people throughout this game. Didn't realize it until it was too late. Oh well. We've also missed ribbons and stuff, so it's not not an optimal playthrough by any means, but we're still making it through just fine. And if it comes down to it, I can just spam Knights of the Round, but I don't think I've missed that much yet. Cloud, do something. Okay, so yeah, now we get to take control of the submarine and take part in honestly a really easy mini game if you know what you're doing. So basically we're going to be using this radar to track down where the red submarine is. Then we're going to fire torpedoes at it until it dies, until it the submarine crashes, and then there we go. Minigame done. Very easy. We have 10 minutes to do it. It takes me more like 30 seconds. So very, very easy minigame that we're about to do here. But yeah, it's still this one's not a great minigame either. I don't know. Most of the minigames of this game aren't great, but they're also not. It's not horrible. But yeah, we're just trying to track down the red submarine, which is not that one. But so you lock onto a target, fire the torpedo, blah 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 blah. That red one is the one we're looking for. Just spam torpedoes until it goes down. We've almost got it. And do we got it? Oh, almost. Let's see. And there we go. Done. Minigame done. So now we got the huge materia for ourselves, and we got a submarine. And the submarine will let us explore underwater areas, so that's great. That's a fun time. Yeah. See Shinra sub. Awesome. We got the submarine now, so not only do we have an airship and a gold chocobo, but now a submarine. So basically, we can go to any part of the world except the northern crater, which is still blocked off by Sephiroth. But I don't know, hopefully we can stop Meteor. Just hopefully we could just save the world. That would be nice if we could do that. But yeah, now they realize that the last huge materia is at Junon Airport, and if they can hurry, they can catch it before they launch it at Meteor into space. So yeah. My question is, why don't they just let the Shinra do this? Because they're trying to do it themselves now too. Maybe I missed that, but anytime I play this game, that's always kind of a confusing thing. But I'm just cutting ahead because we've already walked through Junon many times to the airship part, and then we have a battle here. It's a required battle, so I'm speeding through it because it's enemies we've already seen. Beautiful, done. And then we get this nice little FMV here of the ship taking off. The airplane taking off. We were too late. So now we gotta meet them up at Rocket Town to hopefully get the huge materia before they launch into the meteor. Like I said, a little confused because we end up doing the same thing. Like, we end up launching the materia and the huge materia in the meteor to try to stop it. So I'm a little confused why. Just why? Like, why don't they just let the Shinra do it? I don't know. I guess, you know, they hate the Shinra. And maybe I missed something. I don't know. That's the one part of the story I've always been a little confused on. But anyways, now that we have access to the submarine, we can actually go underwater and explore this underwater area where there's actually this part we actually aren't continuing the main story from here on out. We're doing a lot of side stuff. Like I said, getting the huge materia, like whether or not you fail the missions or not, like that's optional. I recommend doing it because like you get some neat rewards for it, including, like I said, in part 26 we got the Ultima materia, we got the Summon materia Phoenix, and then we will also be getting another Summon materia here for getting all 4 huge materia, and the third one is hidden, well, is down here where the crashed submarine is. So we're just going to go to that and get it. And then after that, there's actually some side stuff that we can do here now that we have this submarine. And also we can actually get a little bit ahead of ourselves in the main quest and pick up an item that we will need for later a little early, just to save some time later on. So yeah, that's fun. You probably saw that huge monster running around down here. That's Emerald Weapon. Don't run into it. Just stay as far away from it as possible. And I'm speeding through this because the submarine moves a little slow. But we're going to the next area. This is the ship. This is a completely optional side area, but I highly recommend going here because we'll actually end up getting an optional boss fight here, along with some really good materia. But yeah, that green monstrosity swimming around down here, that's Emerald Weapon. That's one of the optional super bosses that I was talking about. Do not approach that thing yet. You will die if you try to fight it. Yeah. And Heaven's Cloud is a really good weapon for Cloud. Look at that, 93 attack, but the materia isn't linked, so I actually wait until a bit later to equip it. I actually move time added effect onto Yuffie, do some materia switching around here a bit. And this is also the area where I die. This area I think you're meant to go to a bit later, because the enemies are kind of tough here, but they give a lot of experience, so it's a good grinding spot, so I actually grind it for a few levels here. Because right now I'm level 48, and you know, by the time I get out of here I'll be more like level 50. But yeah, so there's quite a few good things you can get down here, and this is also in the room up ahead where you find Cid's ultimate limit break, the High Wind. So if you're using Cid in your party, definitely come down here to get that. And we also get the double cut materia, which basically turns attack, and it lets you attack 2 times in 1 turn. So I'll show it off with Cloud here with this enemy. Also, we got Yuffie's second level 3 limit break. That's just, it hits a shit ton of times for a small amount of damage. It hits for like 500 damage each time, but she keeps hitting it over and over again. It's a pretty good limit break, multi-hit one, but not a lot of damage per hit, like I said, but still. Yeah, we'll be showing off double cut here. Look at that. It hits twice. Just so you're doing twice the amount of damage you normally would per turn. This enemy can be kind of intimidating. It's pretty strong. But, you know, we kill it pretty fast. Like I said, this is the area where I actually end up getting a game over, which will happen here in a bit. So that's not good, but it's the only game over I've gotten so far, and it's I'll show that battle and show just what happened there, so you don't make the same mistake I did. But yeah, just healing up here, getting a hyper on Yuffie so she's no longer sad. Sad Yuffie. But yeah. So we're just making our way along here. This is a completely optional area. You don't have to go here, but I do highly recommend it just to get some good levels, to get some good experience, some good money, and to get some really good items down here. So it's definitely worth going to. This enemy is incredibly irritating because this makes me wish I had a ribbon equipped, because it can confuse enemies and confuse your party, I mean, and when you're confused, it's just very hard to deal with because you start attacking your own party members, and the only way to really snap them out of it is through hitting them yourself with a physical attack. It's like you're just slapping them like to get them to snap out of it. And this enemy is stopped now because of time added effects, so I'm just going to have Cloud wailing on it. Like I said, I'm trying to have Cloud get the majority of kills to try to get him his level 3 limit break, which he still hasn't gotten, and it's driving me insane. He doesn't even get it in this part, and I even stop and grind a bit to try to get him to get it, but even still, he'll get it eventually. He's trying his best. He's trying his best. But yeah. A Mega Elixir, you get a few of those down here. Mega Elixirs fully restore the HP and MP of your entire party, so definitely get those. Also, I don't think I've said what happens if you die in this game. If you die in this game, you just get booted back to the title screen, so you basically reload your last save. Which I actually prefer to if you kept your experience and stuff, because a lot of times in some games like Pokemon and stuff, you keep the experience from when you die, but you lose all the items that you got and half your money. So that's pretty, it's pretty punishing. So like, if you could barely beat a boss with the items that you had, then suddenly you don't have those items anymore when you die, and you don't have as much money to be able to rebuy them. So that's a little annoying. But actually, here we have an optional boss fight with the Turks, and this is the hardest the Turks have been yet. It's Reno and Rude down here. They still like. They like to confuse your party. It's a little annoying. Reno is stopped now though, so we can just start wailing on him. Reno is susceptible to stop for some reason. I think both of them are. Time added effect, man. I'm telling you, it's good. It's a good one. Yeah, we could just start wailing on Reno here. I'm trying to get Cloud the kill, like I said. Oh, Barrett's confused, and he snapped himself out of it, so that's nice. And another great thing about double cut materia is actually another character can mime it. So Cloud uses double cut, then Yuffie mimes it, and then Yuffie gets double cut. So it can kind of be shared, and if you level it up, it takes a lot to level it up, but if you can level it up, you can get 4 times cut, which is exactly what you think it is. It hits 4 times instead of 1, which basically gets rid of whatever little challenge this game had left after Knights of the Round was introduced in the scene. We still got the super bosses. If you want a challenge in this game, go after the super bosses, that's all I'm saying. Otherwise the game is not very hard, even though I do get a game over. And this game is not hard. I say it's not hard. It's not hard if you know how to approach it. If not, this game, a lot of Final Fantasies, in fact, if you don't know how to approach them, or RPGs in general, I don't think Final Fantasy is a great, like, they're not super great starting points for JRPGs. I think if you're trying to get into JRPGs, play Dragon Quest first, or play Pokemon first. Those are much easier games to understand and get into than Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is better for when you understand how JRPGs work, and then you can actually, and then once you understand that and understand more mechanics in JRPGs, the games aren't very hard. The only one that I think is hard is 5. But yeah, and that's it for that boss fight. Nothing too crazy, but you know, the challenge is ramping up a bit here. But yeah, and we got quite a bit of experience, and Restore's leveled up, and Comet's leveled up, and Ultima is about to level up, so we can actually start casting Ultima, which will actually end up biting me in the ass here in a minute, as you'll see. But yeah, see, Ultima is very close to leveling up. I'm checking that because I'm like, Ultima should have leveled up by now, but it's very close, like one more battle. Speaking of a battle, here we go. But yeah. Cool. So yeah, these guys can be a little annoying too, but they're nothing too crazy. Yeah, so we're just making our way along here. We're going to be going into the next room to get, after this battle actually takes a bit. So that's a fun time, but it's just because there's 4 of them, and they like to attack a lot for some reason. Can one of them die, please? Nope, that one's still alive. Awesome. Bio does not work on them. I don't know what I'm thinking. They clearly do not look like enemies that would be susceptible to bio, but I tried anyway. It doesn't work. I'll just cast a regen just in case, but yeah, this fight takes probably a little too long. It's okay. It's okay. Barret has surpassed 4,000 HP though. That's cool. I love this battle theme. I've gushed about this soundtrack enough, but I've heard this battle theme so many times and I still don't get tired of it. There's just something about it. Yeah, Cloud has stopped that enemy now too. Fun times. Come on, can this battle end? That would be great if this battle could end. Oh, one left, here we go. It's almost dead. Should be, anyway. These guys have, for enemies that come in packs of 4, they have quite a bit of HP. It's kind of weird and surprising, but... Oh, still not dead, and I want Cloud to get the kill. Because, God, you need a certain amount of kills to level up your limit breaks, and I guess Cloud just hasn't gotten enough. Ultima leveled up, MP Plus leveled up, great. And we're also getting quite a bit of gil, as you can see. We've surpassed 100,000 gil just by being on here. So if you're grinding for gil, this is also a good place to go. If you want to buy something or something like that. And then we go over here, and we're getting all these cool items. And then this battle, we've already seen this enemy. Or wait, have we? No, we have not. It's the next battle. This enemy we have not seen. This enemy, the enemies are a little stronger down here. Just be careful, but you should be okay. Just be a little more careful. They like status effects. If you have a ribbon, then you should be okay. But otherwise, just be a little more careful. Blaster. Like I said, this is not a huge story part. We are just doing kind of side stuff. Even though we will get finally, an explanation of Vincent's backstory. I kind of explained it when we first got Vincent, but finally in this part, it's an optional thing because Vincent is an optional party member, but we will actually be going to an area that has more of an explanation as to Vincent's, what exactly happened to Vincent. And what's up with him, and who is this Lucretia person he mentioned, all that stuff. And this enemy, this is the battle I'm talking about. This enemy we've already seen, but this is actually the battle I get a game over in, because now that we have Ultima, I have Yuffie cast Ultima, which it's the Quadra cast of Ultima, which is the most powerful spell in the game. Yuffie gets confused, casts it on the party. Ultima hits all party members, and they're all at full health, but it kills them all because she casts it 4 times. Ow. And then again. You know, if Yuffie died after that one cast, then we would have actually survived. But, nope. Game over. Well, don't do that, basically. Don't have a ribbon equipped or something and hope that they don't get confused. But anyways, we're cutting back to where we were before. These are enemies we haven't seen yet, so, you know, gotta show them off. They're just kind of recolors of the models of the enemies that actually gave us Big Guard earlier in the game. A move that, might I add, we are still using. We got that move in part 12, and we are still using Big Guard. So, that's pretty good. These enemies aren't too bad, though. These are actually probably the least threatening enemies that are down here. But yeah, goodbye. There goes one of them. But yeah, so, you know, game over, you just go back to your last save. Why you should save often, because if you get a game over, then you aren't punished as bad. I actually hadn't saved in a bit there, so the last time I saved was before I got all the material, like the double cut material or anything, so we kind of actually had to redo some stuff. As you see, MP Plus and Ultima will re-level up here, because I got sent back a little ways. No big deal. It's just like 5 minutes of progress lost or so. Get items that we've already gotten. But there's actually kind of a blessing in disguise here, because of this we actually run into enemies we haven't seen yet, like those shell things, and then we're also going to run into this big ass dragon guy here, just to show off more enemies in this game, more crazy monster designs. I think this is another reskin of a boss fight we fought earlier. Oh well. Still, it's a new enemy, and we're going to quadricast Ultima, and it's not going to confuse us this time, so it's going to be great. Quadricast Ultima is very good. It's Healing Cloud, thank you. Yeah, Ultima, just like in any Final Fantasy, it's the most powerful spell in the game, even though it's been noticeably nerfed from Final Fantasy VI. This enemy isn't super, it probably has strong magic defense. It usually does more, around 3,000 damage. And if you have played Final Fantasy VI, you know that Ultima is kind of just the win button in that game, and it's not fully that here. It's a little, yeah, it's a little weaker. It's not just the win button like it is in Final Fantasy VI. That is Knights of the Round in this game. But the thing about Knights of the Round is that's much harder to get than Ultima is in 6. Final Fantasy 6 is pretty easy, but it's okay. It's still a great game. And this enemy should be almost dead. I'm trying to, like, once again, get Cloud, have Cloud get the kill. And is it dead? There we go, beautiful. But yeah, Quadricast Ultima is still very good though. You can also have, like I said, Quadricast heal, so you can get 4 heals. Quadra Magic is a very good materia to get. And then we can go down here, and we're going to get a few more items, including the Hades materia, which will be super important for one of the optional bosses. Then we will get the High Wind, which is, like I said, Cid's ultimate limit break, and then the Outsider, which is a weapon for Vincent. And then I'm just going to speed through this to get, I'm readjusting some materia. I'm equipping Heaven's Cloud onto Cloud, which is a much more powerful weapon, and then giving him Mime instead of Yuffie, and giving Yuffie time added effect, just so we still have it. And also Barrett learned his second level 3 limit break, so now we can get his ultimate limit break Catastrophe on him. Beautiful, beautiful. So now Barrett is about as decked out as he's gonna get. Of course, other than levels, because we're still got, the game's not over. I know I'm kind of acting like we're getting close to the end. We still got a ways to go, and we still got quite a few optional things to do. So yeah, there's still plenty more to see in this game. And here I am. I'm gonna kind of stop and grind here for a bit. I cut all that out though. So as you'll see, I'll be a few levels higher here. Yep, I'm level 50 now. The entire party's level 50. And I'm saving again, just in case something horrific happens and I get a game over. But we're actually getting the fuck out of here. I grinded to try to get Cloud up to his level 3 limit break, which he still has not gotten. This is getting a little ridiculous. And I also gave Cloud an enemy skill materia to hopefully have him be able to screen nuke enemies more with Aqua Lung and shit. It's just getting... It's getting a little, I'm getting a little irritated. I'm kind of like, at this point in the recording, I'm like, what the fuck, Cloud? Just learn Meteor Rain. That's his level 3 limit break. Just learn it. And I'm speeding through this. Just follow the map, and you'll get to this location. This is the item that I was talking about that's actually required for a bit later in the game. And I'm just getting it early while I'm down here. This is the Key to the Ancients. And we're not supposed to have the gold chocobo at this point, but like I said, you're not really supposed to get it until like disc 3, but we do. So I'm just speeding up. I'm grabbing the gold chocobo, going back. You can also access this area via submarine, but you've probably noticed this waterfall area for a bit now. And now that we have the submarine, we can finally access it, or the gold chocobo. Either way works. And I get off it the wrong way, so I have to get back on it, turn it around, and then get off it again. But yeah, and then we can go behind the waterfall, because there's always a secret behind the waterfall. But be sure to bring Vincent along in your party for this. There's no battles here, so don't worry. It's just pure story. But this is actually some really important backstory for this game. Vincent, for an optional party member, is a super important character actually for the backstory of this game. So Vincent was a Turk assisting in the research of the Genova project with Professor Gaston Hojo, and Lucretia was one of the assistants to Gaston Hojo. during the Genova project, and eventually Vincent fell in love with Lucretia. And so Vincent, being a Turk, is kind of conflicted about this, so he ends up kind of telling Lucretia his feelings, confesses his feelings for him, and he gets denied. Lucretia kind of actually runs away scared, and it's because Lucretia loves Hojo, and Hojo and them were together, but as we'll see here, Vincent ends up, he's hurt, but he's kind of like, she's happy, they're in love, it's okay, and they end up getting pregnant. Hojo and Lucretia, they do the sex, and Lucretia gets pregnant until they find out that Hojo actually was experimenting on Lucretia's body and the womb and injected it with Genova cells, and the child was birthed, and that child's name is, you know who it is, it's Sephiroth. So Hojo is actually Sephiroth's biological father, and Lucretia is his biological mother, but Genova, because of the Genova cells injected into him, he sees Genova as his true mother. And the Genova cells start really fucking with Lucretia's body, put her in a lot of pain after that, and so Vincent confronts Hojo and is like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, you're hurting her. And Hojo, in response, shoots him and starts experimenting on his body, injects him with Genova cells, and basically makes him into the monster that we see now. The guy who can turn into all sorts of different monsters. He's essentially a vampire. Hojo's turned him into a monster. And Hojo didn't truly love Lucretia. He just wanted to use her body to experiment on. Hojo is a pretty despicable person, and Vincent sees what happened to him as a punishment for not doing anything sooner and for basically hurting Lucretia. But Lucretia is still alive, as he finds out. He thought Lucretia was dead, but Lucretia is still alive, and she's been hiding here the whole time because she couldn't take what happened. She's been wanting to die for a while, but Genova hasn't let her. She's just kind of been here in pain the whole time, and she laments that she's never even been able to hold Sephiroth, her own child, because of what Hojo did. And now she asks Vincent, is Sephiroth still alive? Is my son still alive? Because he has Genova cells in him too, so physically he probably can't die either so easily. Cloud's about to step up and say something, but Vincent stops him, and Vincent tells her Sephiroth is dead. It's over. And that lie, that's probably a noble lie for Vincent to say. But yeah, that's how Sephiroth was created. Vincent's backstory helps us understand just where Sephiroth came from. I think that's pretty interesting that that an optional party member holds such an important piece of information. There's actually an entire game about Vincent in the Final Fantasy VII Expanded Universe, but I gotta be honest, I don't really care about any of those games. I care about the main game, Final Fantasy VII. And the game gives you all the story you need to understand everything in this game. There's no open-ended pieces left after this. But anyways, in the next part we're actually going to continue with the main story. That's going to do it for this part. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time for part 30 of Final Fantasy VII.